Too hard for the mother bleep radio. Too hard for the mother bleep radio. I don't want to get pulled off of YouTube, guys, but I'll still sing that song. You guys, it's Eddie Abasolo versus Alex Bublea. Why the Mac Dre? Because Eddie Abasolo is from the Yay area. I don't know, that's super cringy. Sorry. But, yes, he is from Vallejo. Bay Area native. I'm a Bay Area native. And it just, I don't know. People are just different out there. Different kind of swagger. That's one thing that Eddie Abasolo... Why am I holding it like this? Holding the mic, guys. I'm holding it weird. But that's one thing that Eddie Abasolo brings to Muay Thai. And I think just combat sports. It's his swagger. I mean, people forget that this is an entertainment business. Yes, it is a lifestyle. Yes, it is martial arts. There is respect. But you have to have a kind of swagger, and you have to be entertaining. Eddie Abasolo is the full package. And he brings that Bay Area funky style to Muay Thai that a lot of people don't have. But yeah, I don't know if you guys remember the hyphy movement. If you're not familiar with the hyphy movement, we're talking Mr. Fab, we're talking Kick the Sneak, E40, Mac Dre. Who else? Who else, guys? I'm asking my family. Who else from the Bay Area rapping? My wife just said G-Eazy. G-Eazy, guys. She just said G-Eazy. You don't know how frustrating and mad that gets me. No, not G-Eazy. And if you're listening and you would have said G-Eazy, no, that is not hyphy movement material. Okay? Horrible choice. She has been downgraded to not the best wife in the world, just simply my wife. But, yes, Andre Nicotina, one of my favorite rappers, might not be considered the hyphy movement, but he is legitimately one of my favorite Bay Area rappers. Come on. But that's where Eddie Abasolo comes from, Vallejo. He's fighting somebody from Romania, Alex the Body Hammer Bublea. I still don't even know if I'm saying his last name right. But you guys, this fight, amazing matchup. I've seen Alex Bublea fight on Muay Thai Grand Prix. And if Eddie Abasolo comes out with this fun, smiling, happy fight that he did versus Richard Abraham, it's gonna be basically a wrecking machine versus a dancer, someone that's gonna move, someone that's gonna just keep his distance and barely miss shots, make him miss shots. Like, it's two styles that are just, it's meant to make a war, right? And it's a good matchup. But yeah, Triumphant 12, Rosarito. Come on, Jesse, get it out. Rosarito, Mexico, this weekend, Saturday. I'm excited. You guys, who else is on that card? This is the breakdown. Clinched up with Jesse Diaz. We're back. Episode 8. I'm so happy we get to break this down. And it's going to be the second one I break down. Before we get into that fight card, I just want to say something about Lion Fight. Started off great. If you guys watch Lion Fight 67, started off phenomenal. The first two fights. Iggy Shariti versus Michael Pennacchiti, both from Italy. First round, both of them come out just. Actually, the guy that lost, Michael Pennacchiti, came out like coming forward the whole entire time for the first minute, and all of a sudden, I am horrible with names. Iggy Shariti was backing up and throwing and hit him with an elbow. And Michael fell right into that elbow and basically TKO'd him. It was good the first two fights, and then you got another knees and elbows in the second round in the second fight. It was a TKO, another one that was fast. They're going, and then this is where I started to. I don't want to say it wasn't a good card. It was just an okay. It wasn't like it didn't make me like, oh my gosh, that was an amazing card. It was just okay. The Sonya Din and Andy Nguyen fight, it was okay. You know, and the last fight got stopped by cut, and it I don't know. It started off great. It started off wonderful, and then it just kind of slowed down. I don't have any sides. I don't pick a side. I'm not like Lion Fight's better than Triumphant or Triumphant's better than Lion Fight. But I do got to say, so far, Triumphant being back, Triumphant has been throwing shows. Their shows have been awesome. Like Brandon Kyle and I forgot the other guy's name. They do really well. I think they do really well compared to the Lion Fight. I think they keep the show going, especially Brandon Kyle keeps the show going. And you're entertained the whole entire fight. And sometimes there are moments of downtime, but it keeps you in the show the whole entire time. Right? As a viewer, not just a knucklehead that wants to just watch fighting all the time. As a viewer, I appreciate that. A good show. Because that's why you're watching. You're paying money for this. I mean, yes, the Lion Fight's UFC Fight Pass, but then Triumphant, you're paying, and they throw a good show. And Lion Fight, they also, when the fighters come out, they show their hobbies on their names, which I thought that was kind of weird. I don't know. Oh, David Huey. Sorry. It's Brandon Kyle and David Huey that are the ringside announcers, and they do an awesome job. And they're just something, I guess they connect better. I don't know. You tell me. Yeah. But Lion Fight's the one I'm looking forward to, and I really can't wait to watch. It's Lion Fight 69. You got cruiserweights, heavyweights, you got the big boys. That one is going to be August 27th in Boston. Correct. It is going to be in Boston. You guys, that fight right there, this whole card is just awesome. Right, Steve Walker versus Landon Knowles. Steve Walker, man, I think he's only like 7-0, but the dude is throwing heat. Fun to watch. I mean, if you did watch I know this is Muay Thai, but if you did watch the UFC, there is one guy that I've been watching for a while, and I didn't know he was on the UFC fight card, but he was the opening in the prelims, the early prelims. He was the opening. Philip Rowe. This guy's stand up, man. You need to watch him. I don't know if he's Muay Thai based or what base, like what's his base, but Philip Rowe is someone to watch. If you like stand up, if you like knockouts, he's very exciting. And I didn't even get to see his fight. I'm just basing it off his fights and other organizations. But the reason why because he has that, the reason why I found him that he stood out to me first is because he was kind of doing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He had a fight gear, I guess a fight kit that was just straight Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And it's pretty sick. And I'll post it right here. But it's legit. And he was fighting for, I want to say, was it LFA? No, it was, I think it was Island Fights. I was watching him on Island Fights. And the dude's stand-up's legit. But Philip Rowe, guys, if you guys haven't watched him, check him out. Look him up. He's 8-3. He just won his last fight in the UFC. And I think he's someone to watch out for, and you're going to see a lot more of him. Triumphant 12. On this card, we have Hector Valenzuela versus Sean Clamaco. We got Edgar Tabarez versus Anthony Cajon. Cynthia Flores versus Maglia Alvarez. And then, main event, Eddie Abasolo versus Alex Bublea. So we got 1, 2, 3 title fights. Edgar Tabarez versus Anthony Cajon. It's for the 130 title. Cynthia Flores versus Maglia Alvarez. It's for the 112 title. And then, obviously, Eddie Abasolo is defending his title, the Intercontinental WMC Intercontinental and Triumphant 158 World Champion belt. And then it says for Hector Valenzuela versus Sean Clamaco, it says the title qualifier. I'm thinking like it's whoever wins this fight is gonna fight for the title. So is it kind of like why didn't they announce it as a tournament? I'm not for understanding that. I don't know. But let's break down this fight. And I'll give my fight of the night prediction. I'll give my predictions. I'll break it down. And say who's going to win. Last fight, I did horrible. I think I got like all of them wrong except the... Yeah, I think I got all of them wrong. But I'm no expert, guys. But going into the first fight, Hector Valenzuela versus Sean Clamaco. I'm going to be honest. I don't really know that much about Hector Valenzuela. Sean Clamaco, I'm always going to be a fan of his. Love his fighting style. Super technical. But Hector Valenzuela, he does Muay Thai. He does MMA. He does boxing. So he's all over the place. And it's saying his last fight was a boxing fight that he won. And it's hard to follow Tapology. Tapology, it doesn't always keep up to date. And then Muay Thai, you got records all over the place. I don't know. You really have to dig deep. I go after the last fight if they what their last fight said. But Hector Valenzuela, it's looking like he just does everything, right? But I got Sean Clamaco. I honestly believe I don't see Sean losing for a while. I think he is going to win the title. I've been a fan of his. I mean, if you're from Bay Area, from the Bay Area, you know the Clamaco brothers. You know how talented Sean is, and he's a killer. So I'm going with Sean on this one. And then the next fight, you got Edgar Tabarez versus Anthony Cajon. Edgar Tabarez is the champion. It's going to be a barn burner. I almost had this as my fight of the night because Anthony Cajon brings it. And so right now, Anthony I believe he lost his last fight. I thought he won it. I remember seeing a fight that he won. But then But then Edgar Tabarez I don't even know how to say his last name. But he is an exciting fighter to watch. A lot of volume. And I think it's going to be an exciting fight. Like I said, I almost had it as my fight of the night. But I see Edgar winning this fight. I see him... I've been wrong. Like, it's hard to guess now because I was wrong completely on the last one. So don't take don't take my knowledge. Don't go bet on my knowledge, right? So I'm taking Edgar for the win in the second round. I got Edgar in the second round. I got Sean winning by decision. Clamaco winning by decision. I got Edgar winning by knockout TKO in the second round. And then getting to my fight of the night, Cynthia Flores versus Maglia Alvarez. This is going to be a barn burner. This one's a good fight. You've seen Cynthia Flores fight on a Triumphant card before. If you guys keep up with Triumphant. And Maglia Alvarez, both of them, no, they're the same height, coming at the same height. And Cynthia Flores throws down. Maglia Alvarez, haven't seen her fight too much, but I believe that they're going to be coming with the heat. I got them going all 3 rounds, or I believe it's 5 rounds since title. All 5 rounds, and it's going to be a barn burner. I got that being the fight of the night, and I got Cynthia Flores taking it by decision. Okay? And then getting down to the last fight. Eddie Abasolo versus Alex Bublea. I'm a huge Eddie fan. I've been to the Resistance. I've known Eddie for a while, just being a fan. And Alex Bublea, I know of him from Muay Thai Grand Prix. And I see Eddie really showcasing in this fight. With the Richard Abraham fight, it was like getting back to the action kind of fight. Like, I don't want to say that Eddie had ring rust, but it was just, everybody was locked down. It was a weird year, and finally Eddie was fighting, and he got back to it. It wasn't really ring rust. It was like, it was a pandemic rust, right? But then I believe in this fight, I think Alex Bublé is the type of person that's going to come forward, that's going to come with the heat and nonstop and really try to knock out Eddie. But what happens when you get a person like that with Eddie Abasolo? He's going to move. He's going to dance. He's going to pick him apart. And I think this fight is really going to highlight Eddie Silky Smooth Abasolo. And I think you get an awesome fight out of him. And I think it's off to the races after that. I think I don't know. He does post videos of him doing MMA and doing jiu-jitsu. So it'd be cool to see him in Bellator or something. But seeing Eddie do Muay Thai will always be an awesome thing to see. So I want to see him fight the next. Like, I want to see him fight the top of the top. I think he gets past Alex. Triumphant's going to be setting up Super. If he gets past Alex, that'd be cool to see him with super fights and see who would take on. But yeah, well, I think Eddie wins. I'm thinking fourth round TKO. That's what I'm calling. And man, picking's weird, right? Because like I'm doing it to a camera that people are gonna see and listen to. But I got my money on Eddie. I wonder if we can even bet on these fights. Does Vegas allow to bet on these fights? I don't know. But yeah. So what I'm thinking, it'd be cool to see Eddie call somebody out after he wins, right? To get it going. To get that's what Muay Thai needs. It needs like a super fight right now. Right? Something like a super fight. I'm thinking super fight. And I don't know, maybe a not might not happen. But Asa Tempao versus Eddie Abasolo. Like a catch weight, like 155. Like 155. Eddie Abasolo versus Asa Tempao. That'd be a dope fight for American Muay Thai. That'd be an awesome fight. Right? But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, we could only wish. Right? I mean, it's just getting better. You got Triumphant. You got T12. I like how they do the T12. Reminds me of Terminator. But you got T12. You got the Boston card coming up for Lion Fight. Like we're back at it. Like, these fights are awesome. I mean, Lion Fight, I think they could do better with throwing a show. I mean, like lion fight, it looked like, I don't know if you ever seen the movie Quest, and everybody was talking, like posting how it looked. It looked cool, right? I don't know if you ever seen the movie Quest and how all the rich people were watching the fighters fight with the Rob Van Dam, not RVD, Jean-Claude Van Damme, the movie Quest, and all the rich people were betting and watching the fighters fight and beat each other up. That, I had that feel, right? It had that feel. It didn't have a feel of a sport. Like the way I think about, like when you see boxing, when you see UFC, you're in an arena. The crowd is around. They're not in tables. They're not eating dinner. They're not watching a comedy show. Like, it's a crowd. Maybe because of COVID. Maybe because, I don't know. I'm not hating, but it just, I didn't like that Jean-Claude Van Damme, Lionheart feel. You know? Remember Lionheart? I didn't like that. Maybe some people like that, but I like it. I like it to feel like, I know fighting's not a sport, but I like it to feel like a sport. Like even the names. Like you think of all the sports out there, right? And I was just talking to, I forgot who I was telling this to. But you think of all the sports out there. It's always like the NFL, National Football League. You got the NHL, National Hockey League. You got the UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship. Like, why not Thai boxing? It wouldn't be called league. Why not TBC, Thai Boxing Championship? Let's see if that's taken. Why can't we call it Thai Boxing Championship? Let's see if it's taken. What do you think? What do you guess? You think it's taken? Doesn't look like it. There's no Thai Boxing Championship. There's Thai Championship Boxing, but there's no Thai Boxing Championship. Like what? Like yes, lion fight. That's cool. But it doesn't bring that, like we need to bring that I don't want to say organization, but it's just that sport feel, like that where you go to one place and it's like the place to be. Like when people think lion fight, they don't think Muay Thai. It's unclear to say. So I'm talking about step away from where you're not, say you're not an avid watcher, you're not somebody that loves Muay Thai. Right? You're the kind of fighting fan that I want to see blood. And you don't know what Muay Thai is. They say lion fight. I don't think people like jump out of their chair and like, oh my God, lion fight. What is that? They need something like, I could be just talking out of my ass right now. But they need something that people are going to look at and say, oh, that's Muay Thai. And the more they see it, the more they hear it, the more like Muay Thai, Muay Thai, Muay Thai. And finally, they just give in and watch. But it's just like, I don't know. Lion fight? I mean, Triumphant's not too bad because like I like how they do the T12, the T11, T10. But it's still not Thai Boxing Association, or it's not Thai Boxing Championship. But I do love the T1, T2, like that's like Terminator status. I love that, right? And it's basic, Triumphant, combat sports, lion fight. I don't know. We could do better, right? Maybe, like I don't know anything about branding. I don't know. Like it's not like I have a million viewers on my podcast, or even know when it comes like what was behind why they called it all that. Maybe they try to get Thai Boxing Championship. I don't know. Like you think about the big hitters. You think about the big hitters, UFC, one championship. Those two right there. And there's Bellator. Bellator is like it's like Triumphant. Boom. Bellator. It's just one word. So it's not too bad. But then you get to one championship. Then you get to UFC. Like, those names right there, they just stand out. It's easy. Clean. There it is. Clean. It needs to be clean. I don't know. But speaking about one championship, I wanted to hear, like, I wanted to talk about it a little bit. You know, and you got, if you guys listen to the Bob Perez interview that I did with him, he talked about how he didn't like the small gloves. Right? It was a whole different conversation. So this would take longer. This conversation would take longer if we started talking about the small gloves to big gloves, basically one championship Muay Thai, and it's not Muay Thai if it's not big gloves. But I love it, and I think they're showing success with it. And you're creating stars, like these people, like Iron Man's becoming a star, a worldwide known star. Like, Iron Man is fun to see. Like Haggerty, like seeing that was like, if you watch that fight, Haggerty versus Rotatang, if you watch that fight on one championship, you would think, like, in America, you would think that it was Super Bowl, Patriots versus the Niners, and the stadium was rocking. But when you watch Haggerty and Rotatang and you see how filled that stadium is, you realize, like, how big Muay Thai is. Like, I'll say this, like, USA, when it comes to Muay Thai, it's just like soccer. The world watches soccer. United States doesn't. The world watches Muay Thai and boxing. You know, America right now, when it comes to combat sports, America is watching UFC. Right? They do watch boxing. It's crazy because boxing does get a lot of my friends. Like, if I post any boxing stuff, or if I met like a professional fighter or something, it's always the boxing that gets people to hit me up on my phone. It's never the MMA. It's for some reason, boxing will always have those die-hard fans. But UFC is just mainstream in America. But Muay Thai, when it comes to overseas, it's huge. You got the World Championships. Like, people talk about the Olympics. I mean, the Olympics for Muay Thai has been going on for a while. The World Tournament. Speaking about the Olympics, so cross my fingers. I don't know if you guys want to hear, but I got a hold of the committee. It's kind of weird. I was just trying to find somebody that can explain to me what the process is to get to the Olympics, because Muay Thai is not in the Olympics yet. So what is the process that has to happen now? So I reached out to the committee, and I'll be talking to somebody, cross my fingers, in August. So I'll have that interview. But yeah, I'll be talking to somebody that can explain that to me. But it's a weird thing, right? Like, you put on small gloves and they hit a little bit harder. They show a little bit more damage, and everybody goes crazy. But you got big gloves, and you get the tradition of it, and people don't want to watch it. But it's beautiful to watch. But I guess one championship, people are not watching in America too. They're starting to, right? I mean, you hear, like, that Haggerty Rotatang fight was huge. Like, and I interviewed Jackie Bouton, and that was a big interview for me, because, like, she's gonna be a star. She's only 2 fights in. Now think of these Muay Thai fighters that have been fighting forever. And if 2 fights, Jackie Bouton is on the verge of becoming a star. That's crazy. Like it upsets me. I'm not saying I'm the hardest training fighter. I'm not saying the work that I put in that Muay Thai should be bigger. It's me being around these fighters, getting to see how they train and how they dedicate themselves to this, right? And them making a living is dependent on Joe Schmo. The eyes of Joe Schmo. The eyes of the Cheeto finger quarterback, couch quarterbacks, if their eyes are watching. Like you get this card right now. Eddie Abasolo versus Alex Bublea. These guys have trained their asses off to get to where they're at now. Eddie Abasolo, man. There's no one like him when it comes to the way he promotes himself as the way he's training. Right? The different craziness that he does, right? The videos that he posts. But there's one drill that is on YouTube if you look it up. It's just him talking about warming up on the bag and finding your rhythm. Working into your rhythm, and it's just left hook, right hook, left kick, left hook, right hook. Wait, no. Left hook, right hook, left kick. Hold on. I got it. So it's left kick, right hook, left hook, right kick, left hook, right hook, left kick, and then right hook, right kick. So you're just going back and forth. And I seen him do that, and it's an amazing drill just to get your body just moving with your hands and your legs, just like the 4 count. But it's just, I guess the hooks, you could feel your hips, right? That was one drill that I can't do the board. If you guys ever look up Eddie Abasolo and putting the board on top of the roller, I can't do that. I need to practice. But Muay Thai is a sport that we don't get to highlight somebody like that. Right? We have someone this creative in our field, and yet he doesn't, like, it's not someone that's blowing up. I don't know. I mean, he's world known. It's just I'm not talking about other fighters knowing of him. Everybody in the fight game knows of him. But I'm talking about those people that sit at their chairs and say, "Get up, hit him." You know, that are screaming at the TV that never fought in their life before. But those people there are the reason why people make money. The people that they don't know anything about fighting. And those are the eyes. That's why Conor McGregor made so much money. It's not because of the diehards and the fighters that love the sport and the purists. Like, no one makes money off of getting the purists to watch them. People make money off of the 9 to 5 people, right? The people that are just waking up, going to work, and need this to something to watch on the weekend, right? That really don't have time to train or even be in this sport. You know, if that makes any sense. I don't know if I'm making any sense. But how do we get the eyes on the cool people of Muay Thai? I mean, one championship, like they got the world to see Rotatang. this guy that's hitting himself while he's coming forward. Now, how does America do that for our fighters? You know? I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. Thank you guys for listening. Go watch Triumphant 12. If you guys love the show, share it, like it, tell a friend. My name's Jesse Diaz. This is Clinched Up. Next week, the following weeks, we have some big guests coming up. I didn't have anybody because I really wanted to highlight Triumphant 12. You know, but coming up, we have some big guests. I'm excited. Thank you guys for reaching out. Thank you guys for watching. I'm trying to get to at least 100 listeners on the listening side, so podcasts. So if you're listening to the audio, tell a friend. I really want to get this moving. This is my goal for this week, is to have 100 listeners. Just listeners, not even viewers. Just listeners. That's my goal. And yeah, maybe I should come out maybe I should do something, right? I know I'm over here talking about branding. I don't know how to brand my own shit. But yeah, I'm trying to get to 100 listeners. So if you could tell a friend, that'd be awesome. What do you think? Who do you think's gonna win? Are my insights horrible? Are they correct? Do you think I'm gonna be right? Like anything. I'm here to talk about Muay Thai. So if you want to talk crap about what I'm saying, go ahead. I want to talk about Muay Thai. I don't care how you talk about Muay Thai, just talk about it. Let's get this. Let's talk about Triumphant 12. It does. The more we talk about it, the more we post it, the more we share it, Muay Thai will grow. Doesn't mean that everybody has to agree with me. If you don't, go ahead, reach out to me. I'm not going to hate you for it. You guys, I love you. Have a good week. Enjoy the fights. I'll see you guys back next Monday. This is Clinched Up. I love you guys. Have a great week. Have a good time training. Peace out.